This is the Put It in the Air podcast.
Cheers, my man.
Back again for the second round.
Here we go.
Is the Put It in the Air podcast.
Yes. Welcome in, everyone, to the Put It in the Air podcast. I'm your host, Brennan Casello, a.k.a. East Coast Virus.
And I'm Pascal Rawls-Philippe, a.k.a. Punks in Drublick. And let's get it.
Let's get it. He's 3-0, and so
That's
am I
right,
in the
baby.
mirror. 0-3.
Listen, it's called duality. It's called balance, you know.
Yeah.
We can represent from the haves and the have-nots.
We're going for a symmetry vibe. We're messing it up by pulling wires and stuff. But anyways, sometimes you win, and sometimes you don't.
Okay.
Oh,
Is that your championship trophy? Is that what that is?
It is. It's my family league
okay.
trophy.
The league no one cares about but you and your family.
Yeah, and everyone who's been in it. It's a 12-team league. We've had about 16 participants. A couple little turn in.
I will say that's a good looking trophy. I'm a little bit jealous because I've never had a winner's trophy.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
We also customize it ourselves with the names and stuff.
Yeah, I see.
Very
Impressive.
Nice. Should put that there.
All right,
Okay.
so what are we talking about this episode?
So today we're going to have a quick recap of the PIIDA matches this week. It's going to be tough, but we'll do it.
Tough for who, buddy? Tough for who?
A few of us. Probably
Yeah.
half the league,
Half? Yeah,
I'd say.
just about.
Yeah, I'd say just about half. We're going to do superlatives and draft grades.
Okay.
We have one updated draft grade. Thanks 20% of you guys who haven't done it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, week 3 keeper performances, a little in-depth dive, and as always, some opinions, predictions, and fun talk for the league.
Let's get it.
Let's do this. Let's get right into it. All I had to do was push a button. I don't know why I had to talk.
Pun down.
This week, we are starting with Steal Your Face Mask versus East Coast Virus.
Why?
Man, this one was close.
Not really.
It did not look like it, right? At first, you thought that Billy was running away with it. You thought that he had it in the bag. And then all of a sudden, C.D. Lamb goes down with an injury before he can put up one measly point.
I don't condone injuries.
Billy was really rocking, man. Like, early on, he had big games from Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Hunter Henry,
Insane.
Kyron Williams, just going off. Then in the Dallas-Chicago game, like I said, CD goes for a goose egg after he gets hurt. Then in Dallas and Baltimore, Jamison Williams only puts up 6 points, 11 combined points from Tyler Loop and the Houston Texans defense.
Imagine.
And all of a sudden, it's a game, right? You've got Brendan, who got a stinker from No Knicks. Told ya.
He's going to be all right.
But then got 23 points from Jordan Mason. Only 6 points from Ashton Janty, but another 24 from Cortland Sutton. Brian Thomas pooped the bed for any of the little ears out there. And then Trey McBride played well. Juwan Johnson played well. Jackson Smith and Jigba put up 21. The Indianapolis Colts put up 15, more than the kicker and the defense for Billy combined. It just could not overcome 22 from Josh Allen. 33 from Jonathan Taylor, 20 from Kyron, 15 from Devontae, 30 points from Hunter Henry. 30 points, all right? 15 from J.K. Dobbins. It was just too much. Brendan couldn't overcome it, and it didn't help that he left 25 points on his bench with Omarion Hampton. You know, if you had put in Omarion Hampton instead of, say, Ashton Janty, which, you know, you shouldn't have done based off of the last 3 weeks, but if you had, or maybe if you had put him in instead of Juwan Johnson, you would have won. Instead, you're 0-3. Sorry, buddy.
It's all right. What was the final score?
Final score, Billy, a.k.a. Steal Your Face Mask, with 150.22 to Brendan, a.k.a. East Coast Virus's 140.62. You lost.
Congrats, Billy. It was a fun match to watch after the 1 o'clock games.
As long as you weren't Brendan.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It turned out to be good. So, yeah. Anyways, next match. We have I Fucks Your Mom against Punks in Drublic.
Oh, yeah, baby.
This was a stinker of all stinkers, as the bottom of the garbage bag left the spew on the floor. Pascal Rawls Philippe, a.k.a. Punks in Drublic, beat Aguerald Antoine, a.k.a. the worst name in any league history, by about 18 points. The thing is, both quarterbacks performed mediocrely. Kyler Murray at 13.5 and Drake May at 16.5, just a few inches higher. Saquon Barkley really crapped the bed during bedtime, combining for 21 with Javonte Williams.
Oh my God, this is pretty hard.
Under Aggie's team. Pascal's leading running backs were matching each other at 16.1 points. Bijan Robinson and Devon Achane. Two very pronounced players that have interesting pronunciations of their name.
Okay.
A lot of people said Achane. A lot of people said Bijan. Anyways. Zay Flowers really caused it to be a stinker, as Roma Dunze didn't. Zay Flowers put up 3.5. Roma Dunze, 15.2, a respectable, not near his ceiling type of performance.
It was a good week for them to be off.
However, Tyler Warren finally came back down to earth, as he only scored 1.1 points less than Kyle Pitts, who had 7.9. Didn't help Aggie that DK Metcalf and Rashid Shaheed, who are his starting two wide receivers, put up 20.4 combined. That's less than Jackson Smith and Jigba together.
With himself?
With himself. The flexes didn't produce much more, as each team put up a 7 with the likes of Nick Chubb and Marvin Harrison. Travis Etienne and Bucky Irving faced off. An 11.6 to 13.9 victory for Bucky. Not too shabby. The defense and kickers were both trash, except Will Lutz did perform an 8-point performance. Daniel Carlson and the Bills defense combined for 6 as the Falcons somehow put up 3 in a dud where they didn't score a point. I guess that's why they call it defense. The benches didn't look very powerful. However, Jake Ferguson for the Punks in Drublic team was benched with 21.2, which is solid. And there's also another bright spot in Matthew Golden, who put up 10.1. His rookie season will crack at some point. Trevion Henderson and Ollie Gordon also, along with Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, all 3 rookie running backs. I thought I had a problem.
At least mine are on my bench.
They put up 10, 9, and 7. More than Ashton Genty, the number 1 overall running back, which I scored with a small price of a first-round pick.
Ooh.
Jaden Daniels
That
sat
must
this
hurt.
one out. That might have made the difference in this stinker of all stinkfests. Punks in Drublic, 106.5.52, actually. To Aggie, 88.16. Woof.
Not good. All right, in our next matchup, we have Great versus Jimenez Crusaders. I don't know what kind of accent that was, but it was an accent.
It was a great match.
This one was not a good match.
It was. The Monday night. Just tell us what happened. The Monday night Lions players in this.
The majority of this game looked like it was going to be a blowout. All right. Colin's team was rolling, and coming into Sunday evening, it really looked like, with a few players left to go on each side, that Colin was going to run away with it and was going to be looking at one of the top scorers in the league. Unfortunately for him, he got stinkers from Jordan Love, Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard, Brock Bowers, who just has not been performing, and was sitting there wondering what was going to happen. G-Men's Crusaders had Jared Goff to come on Monday night, or was that the Sunday night game?
That was Monday.
Yeah, Monday night. He had Jahmyr Gibbs also on the stack, and Sam Laporta, and Jake Bates, the kicker.
Wait.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown on the other side to balance it out.
Insane.
It was such a close game coming into it when it really looked like it was just going to be a blowout the entire time. The fact that Colin could not get more than 10 points out of 3 of his stars, Jordan Love, Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard, 4 of his stars, and Brock Bowers, meant that he was really, really floundering here. Luckily for him, Romeo Dobbs only put up 4.5. Chase Brown for Baba only put up 6 points. Meanwhile, in the Detroit game, you had Jahmyr Gibbs putting up 27 points. That went along with Devontae Smith's 20 from Sunday, Quentin Johnson's 15 from Sunday, but unfortunately also for Baba, he had Jared Goff only put up 13 points. As the running game really took over in that game. He only had Sam Laporta put up 7.3. As again, it was all running game. And Jake Bates didn't have to kick many field goals, so he only got 8 points. In the end, the 16 points from Tyreek Hill, 21 points from Amon-Ra, 13 from Jalen Warren, 15 from Emeka Egbuka, 12 from Harrison Butker, and 16 from the Pittsburgh Steelers is what put Colin over the top. The key. 28 points combined between his kicker and his defense is what gave Colin the win over Babalu, 126.82 to 116.38.
Wow, he should keep his kicker and defense for next year because he picked them up off waivers.
Yeah, I had the Steelers and they played like booty, so I got rid of them.
Yeah. It's going to be a streaming year for a lot of teams from what it looks like. Even though some of us have good defenses, there's a lot of offenses to worry about.
Yep.
In the next matchup, Captain Cannabis versus Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies. This was a matchup of matchups as 2-0 Captain Cannabis cruised along into Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies territory. They sat at 1-1. And would like to tie the records. Well, Lamar Jackson for Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies put up 23.5 points against Justin Herbert, 12.1. Very surprising. Christian McCaffrey and David Montgomery, however, fueled Captain Cannabis with approximately 54 points, as Cam Scattaboo and Josh Jacobs put up a respectable 36, but it's no 53. Captain Cannabis had it rolling with his wide receivers. Garrett Wilson and Puka Nacua combined for 47 fantasy points, as Deebo Samuel and Drake London on the other end combined for just over 15. Deebo with 4.9. His first poor performance of the season. He's looking good, though. Maybe want to trade? Pat Freiermuth versus Jason Travis Kelsey III. The Kelsey brother puts up 6.6, and the Freiermuth, who seems to be loose, is only at 1.6. That might be an Aaron Rodgers problem.
The Muth is loose.
Now, Chris Olave versus Khalil Shakir was a pretty even match where Olave outscored Shakir by just over a point. Wan'Dale Robinson had a barf performance at only 3.6 after being targeted in the top 10 most players in the league in the first 2 weeks. And Jawan Jennings ended up with a goose egg because he actually didn't play in this game, but for some reason Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies decided to play him. He must really think he's special. Chris Boswell and the 49ers defense combined for just 8 points total as the Broncos defense puts up 9 and Dicker the kicker gets 11. Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies special teams and kicker are looking pretty good. Wonder when he drafted him. The benches reek. However, that is not true. They reek on Captain Cannabis' side as they would. Jalen Waddle did all right at a 14.9, but everybody else was held below 5. Or 6 or 7, whatever. Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies had some nice performances on his bench that might have turned things around, but wouldn't have won it if they switched him in for Jawan Jennings, because the domination of Captain Cannabis' running backs and wide receivers scored him just under 100 points. 4 players. Impressive. The final score for this one, Captain Cannabis crushes Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies 146.6 and almost taking the top score of the week, third actually. Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies 111.52.
Next, we have Catch This Fade versus Brooklyn Bulldogs.
Ooh.
This one was looking like a close one, folks. Everyone was matching each other's scores. We had Caleb Williams for Catch This Fade putting up 29
Top
versus
score.
27 for Jalen Hurts on Brooklyn Bulldogs.
Damn.
DeAndre Swift for Catch This Fade put up 11 versus Tony Pollard's 14. Brees Hall got outpaced by James Cook 9-21.
That's the powerhouse.
But Nico Collins made up for it by outpacing Jacoby Myers 22-9. Jonnu Smith was nothing for TJ Hawkinson, putting up 5.3 to TJ's 15.9. AJ Brown balled out, but so did Michael Pittman. AJ put up 23. Michael Pittman put up 19. Alec Ayomenor for Catch This Fade put up 14. Whereas George Pickens put up 18 for Brooklyn Bulldogs. Then we have Kaimi Fairbairn for Catch This Fade only putting up 4 to Brandon Aubrey's 8 for Brooklyn Bulldogs, who he drafted very early.
It's low.
Then the Seattle Seahawks defense put up 16 for Catch This Fade to the Philadelphia Eagles 13 for Brooklyn Bulldogs.
Only 16 for Seattle?
What ended up happening was coming into the last game of the week. No, the last game of the weekend, I guess. We had the New York Giants versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Jamar Chase had only put up 8.9 points for Brooklyn Bulldogs. But Catch This Fade was still behind by about 15, 20 points. But he had Malik Neighbors, his keeper. That boy that everyone thought was going to go off this year, no matter who was at quarterback.
Shoot.
And he had a good game in week 2, and he was trying to build off of it. But Russell Wilson sucks. That boy is bad.
Period.
He lost his job to a rookie. Meanwhile, Malik Neighbors put up 3.3, and Catch This Fade lost 136.82 to 153.94 to Brooklyn Bulldogs. Congratulations, Jay.
That's a big one. As a matter of fact, James Cook was the real difference. As wasn't he on Catch This Fade last year? Oh yeah, he was. Where he won the trophy that I hope he has right now.
James Cook was his keeper because I had traded him Rashad White for James Cook.
He kept him again?
Well, he
No.
could have.
Oh, he could have. Yeah.
He was his keeper last
he's not
year.
on his team. I just said that.
And he could have been his keeper this year, but he chose Malik Neighbors. I have to say, if he had chose differently, Marvelous, you would have won this one.
Yikes.
Ouch.
The final matchup of the week. The Auto Draftees facing off against longtime friend Salute Your Short Fellows, who has an awesome new emblem of some short fellows.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about our emblems, did we?
I don't think we did. We will.
Do.
Just stay tuned. Maybe next week or later today. Anyways, another stinkfest is upon us. As both teams look to perform reasonably at a 130 to 127 projection prior to the week. Both teams looking to tie each other.
What?
I told you they're good friends. not really tie each other. Anyways, the thought got twisted and turned. I think it was Longfellow's new emblem that looks awesome. If you can see it there. Anyways, I just showed the final score. Baker Mayfield outperforms Patrick Mahomes 17-12, whereas the bright spot in the running back room was Kenneth Walker at 18 for Frank. As a matter of fact, I'll just tell you what Frank scored because there's other things to talk about on Longfellow's side, and they're not good. Isaiah Pacheco put up a dismal 5.8. Justin Jefferson can do better than that, 12.5. Lad McConkey on his downward spiral with 8.1. Prove me wrong, I'd like to see it. David Njoku comes back and outperforms Harold Fannin with a 9. Troy Franklin falls back to earth, 2.8. Tet McMillan looking like a rookie up and down this week, down 7.8. I'll just tell you a little bit about Longfellow now, and then we'll go back to Frank. Longfellow's Derrick Henry performance on Monday Night Football really made him sour, with a 10.7 and a game-costing fumble. Unfortunately, on the other running back's sphere on his team, James Conner ruled out for the season, finishing with a 6.7 in Week 3. We'll miss you, James Conner. Mike Evans, 13.3 wasn't bad. It looks like he was on his up and up. And ouch, Mike Evans with a severe hamstring strain. Looks to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Not good. He did score 13.3, so respect to you. Terry McLaurin broke 10 for the first time this season, correct? I believe. Just going to double check that for you with my slow internet. It's not working. So Terry McLaurin did, in fact, score 4.7, 9.8, and 10.4. Also, he too was on the up and up, and unfortunately, an injury for Terry McLaurin, a quadricep that he's getting another look at. It's not looking good for Mike's wide receiver room, as he also has Diami Brown, who finished with 2.7.
Oh, no.
And got a shoulder injury. I think it was shoulder. Yes, shoulder injuries. Anywho, Longfellow didn't do much better with his players that didn't get hurt, as he put out a 5.5 from Harold Fannin, who actually sat across from David Njoku. I didn't even see that. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled away 4 points and ended up with a 4.6, so half his score goes to shite. Ricky Pearsall was the bright spot and only bright spot on his team this week, as he put up 19.7. Mike's special teams and kicker did well. Number 1 kicker Spencer Schrader put up 11. He might no longer be the number 1. And the Packers put up 8 points, where they were expected to dominate against a Cleveland offense who couldn't move the ball. Mike put up 107.12, which isn't that great. Frank, on the other hand, put up 76.16. But Frank's kicker put up 21 points with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. And a game winner.
Bringing him to 97.16. Frank was down by just under 10 points, down by 9.96 points, and he ended up needing 10 from the Vikings defense, who tripled that and put up the season best 30 points, where Frank ended up winning with 51 of his 127 coming from special teams and defense to take this one to the house. Both benches, might I add, were not very well. Kareem Hunt is the only one that eclipsed 11.4, or eclipsed 10 with 11.4. And unfortunately, a very, very frustrating injury to Xavier Worthy kept him out, and a very sad injury, which we all hate to see, as running back Najee Harris tore his Achilles and has already been dropped from Frank's team.
Wow. Harsh.
So, really crazy stuff. Sorry for the Hopefully that wasn't too loud.
No, I think it was okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, what a week it was. There's a lot of things happening in our league and movement. Actually, Frank with his kicker and defensive moves shot him up the rankings. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, that was the punt down. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was so much fun.
Wasn't it? I think it was. Part of it was great.
Great.
Great. Let's talk about the closeness of the week.
Superlative rundown.
So, Pascal, would you like to start this one?
Yes.
Oh.
This week's largest margin of victory comes to Captain Cannabis, who defeats Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies by 35.08.
It's not even a huge blowout if you think about it. I mean, we've seen much bigger. 35 is big.
100 points last year.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Oh, 101, something like that?
Something like that.
Something like that. The closest matchup of the week goes to Steal Your Face Mask versus the East Coast Virus, me.
That guy.
Billy beat me by 9.6. Talking all that trash like he won by 35 plus. Just kidding. Good job, Bill. Hunter Henry, Jonathan Taylor, or anything else, I would have crushed you.
Or if you just put in the right players.
Yeah, well,
as usual, which is your MO.
Sometimes that happens.
Now, to give them their flowers and $25. Brooklyn Bulldogs, who needed every point to win, 153.94. Congratulations on your money, friend.
Yeah, he second place I think was Billy actually at 150. I think there was a 147. So yeah. Pretty pretty great. So moving on to the next.
Wet fart of the week. Wet fart of the week.
Yo, what?
So we've got a wet fart of the week. The wet fart of the week this week goes to Aggie, who scored 88.16.
Thank you, Mr. Antoine, for giving me the win.
Yes. The runner-up for the wet fart of the week was actually Punkson Drublick, who scored 106.52.
Did I really have the second lowest
second
points?
lowest score of the week.
I thought there was someone else.
Nope. Longfellow scored 107. He would have beat you. Scott scored 111. He would have beat you. Everybody else was above 130.
Wow.
Well, Colin 126, but Babalu 116. Okay.
I feel like a loser.
Yeah.
But I won.
Yeah.
Yay.
I put up the fourth highest score this week, and I'm 0-3. So
Yeah, Billy put up the second highest score week 1, and he lost. So
yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. So I feel your pain, Bill. But I'm 0-3 now, and you're 1-2, and I hope you make the playoffs, and I make the playoffs per usual, except last year and a few other years. Anyways. So yeah, wet fart of the week, Aggie. I'm playing you this week. So
what a crappy week, eh?
Yeah.
For me. But I won.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. 6 of you guys could say that, you know.
Yeah.
So are we moving along?
I think we're on to the next segment. What's in the air, my friend?
It's in the air. We're going to talk a little bit about draft grades. We only got one new draft grade from one of the 5. Jay, thanks for sending it in.
Bums.
You sent 2 of the 3 items that we are trying to compile in, so we have to like put the puzzle together. It's not that hard. But Jay got a B, 9 and 5, which puts him 5th or 6th. As
we'll find out.
Yeah, Billy and I shared 3rd, so he can't be 4th. And Pascal's in 7th with a 6 and 8, so obviously Jay is better than that. So probably
I am
5th.
halfway to my win total.
Yeah. I'm supposed to go 10 and 4, so I need to go 10 and 1 for the rest of the year.
You need to step it up, buddy.
I'm built for it, though. I think.
You sure about that?
I'm serious. I think so. I think a lot of not to mention players get injured, players have to come in. Players come in, they start playing. They're supposed to be the starter. Quinshon Judkins is one of those.
You know, I think we should go a little out of order this week because we're already on topic. And I think we should go to the market watch from here because I think that it has a little bit to do with what we're talking about right here.
That's true. That's
draft grades
that's a good
and like
point.
what's actually happening in real life.
That's a good point. Let's get gothical.
Market Watch.
Knocking my head around.
That is loud. Sorry. So we have a ranking shakeup. It is good that we talk about the rankings now. This is how we develop a better way to flow through the episode by doing it live. So
hey, let's go, baby.
So we had a first place team last week who dropped 2 spaces, and that would be Pascal.
Was me.
He was first. He was 2-0. He shared that record with 3 other teams. There was 4 2-0s.
Yep. Aggie was wondering why I was first overall, and in case you guys are unaware, whoever has the most points for, if you have the same record, gets the higher ranking.
If you didn't play each other, because the way our league works is a head-to-head. If you didn't play each other, they just go off the next stat, which is points for,
right? Which
it should be. I mean, I think it should be points for
of course.
altogether, but it's fun to have matchups play a role.
If they did the differential between for and against and took whoever had the highest differential, I think that would make more sense. But we're asking a lot from an app that just got sold to ESPN who sucks balls.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens about that. But the teams that did remain undefeated, you did mention Aggie, who lost. He was the only undefeated team that lost, so 3-3-0 teams. In first place, with a record of 3-0,
Captain Cannabis, who has gone up 2 spots in the rankings with his strong performances the last couple weeks to have the most points out of all the undefeated teams.
The second undefeated team who remains at number 2 is
Great.
Who's got 403 points.
Yeah, not bad.
He has quite a few points scored against. Captain Cannabis at 321, McCree at 364. So he's felt a little more pain, but gotten through it just fine. Along with...
In third place is Punks in Drublic. Yay! I have not broken the 400-point barrier yet.
The lowest scoring
393.3, but I have the second most points against for the undefeated teams with 328.96.
And surprisingly, we have 2 2-1 teams. One jumped the rankings from 6th to 4th, and that team is...
Brooklyn Bulldogs.
Who has a dominant 402, which is 4th in the league, respectable. In 5th place, we've got...
I fucks your mom.
Who dropped to 2-1 after losing. We don't have to talk about his loss anymore. Maybe he'll win this week. Hopefully not. Next, we have...
Catch This Fade.
Top performer of the 1 and 2 teams by quite a bit. Wait a sec.
Nope.
Sorry, this is where things get fun.
That's right.
Because teams have played each other in the 1 and 2 teams that remain.
5.
So Catch This Fade has the best record against those teams, so he should be 1-0, I imagine, against an 0-1 that probably falls lower.
Right.
You could figure that out by looking at Frank also being high with the 321. Billy at 8.
Frank has gone up 5 spots in the rankings. He is now number 7 after being in last place.
That's bold. Imagine doing that late in the season.
He only has 321 points for, 367 points against.
That's the 3rd lowest points for.
In 8th place.
Go Frank. Oh, yeah. In 8th place.
Steal your face mask.
Who gets his
Our
first
top
win.
scorer for the league.
Unfortunate.
440 points for, 443 points against.
That's badass. Go big or go home, right? Billy's got the most points for and the most points against. Let's pause there, as those are the top playoff teams. Don't worry, we're going to talk about the stinkers, too. Don't mind being in there because it's my favorite number. But Billy, man, outrageous performances for, outrageous performances against. Nobody can use an excuse of, but I get scored on so much, and I score so much. Because Billy's doing it. He's in the playoffs. What is your reason? What is your excuse? Salute your shorts.
That you suck.
At number 9.
Yeah.
With a 323. Just
salute your short fellows. You suck.
With a 1-2 record at 323 and a 1-2 record at 321, Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies follows Short Fellows up at the 10th spot.
At least Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies has the best name in our league.
Kind of awesome. There is 2-0-3 teams, and I reside
Oh my God,
in the basement
Brendan, you suck.
with
so
a great friend, an old friend,
bad. Babalu, I'm not mad at you.
Babalu.
I'm not mad at all.
Babalu dropped 2 spots from 10th to 12th, and I remained in 11th place.
How does that feel? I mean, you've spent a lot of time
It doesn't-
outside of the playoffs in the last 2 seasons.
So
How does that make you feel, Brendan?
early in the season, all I could say is I've got hope and opportunity. I've got a lot of players that can perform that you could put in your starting lineup.
But
without
you're
worrying.
probably going to leave him on your bench because that's how you get down.
Well, yeah, that is how I get down. I do have a lot of good players, though. Just got to play the right ones. How many times do I have to say that? With the rookie combo of Ashton Genty and Omari and Hampton, the receiving core that is great as well as bad.
What?
Hold on.
Yo, your team could be good if you could start the right players. So we'll see.
I got 2 top 4 tight ends. I've got 4 starting running backs.
Tight ends don't put up
Several
numbers. though.
WR1s. That's
Tight
fine.
ends don't put up numbers.
Trey McBride does. And actually, Jawan Johnson puts up more numbers.
The top tight end from last year averaged like 16 points a game. The top wide receiver was in the 20s. The top running back was in the 20s. The top quarterback was in the 20s.
True. Starting 2 tight ends is bad. Somebody want to trade? I would love
I
to
got some
trade.
tight ends
Got
here.
some-
I got some tight ends here. Who wants to take my tight ends? Anyone, tight
got
ends
some trades
here.
for you guys. You guys want some trades? I actually do. I have some viable trades that are in my starting lineup or my bench. If you check them out, we'll see who gets offered.
I might start making some trades soon. I wanted to wait a few seasons or a few weeks into the season, so we're about to be at week 4. Might
Yeah.
be time to start throwing out some feelers.
Yeah.
See, how I can make my team a little better. Had a bad week this week, so maybe I'll wait a couple weeks for my guys to perform better.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some trades that I want to mention. That this is Market Watch, so talking out of place is no problem. I did offer some horrible. Well, it turned out to be pretty bad trades. One really good.
Yeah, you got called out for at least one of them.
and one really bad. I was tired of having Calvin Ridley. I saw that he was the highest targeted player on the worst team in the NFL.
We
Not
talked about
thinking-
him over the offseason, too,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, he's out. Like, I'm good on him.
I got bought back in. Somebody convinced me. I don't know what happened. I convinced myself that maybe Cam Ward will be good. And you know what? Maybe he still will be. So the value, I'm not just
It was
gonna drop the
risky,
guy.
but yeah.
You don't drop him. If he'll have weeks where he puts up
It's only
19,
3
20.
weeks. Like, we got 14.
That's- That's true.
We have,
But-
before the playoffs? We have
11 weeks of regular season fantasy.
Yeah, week
11
14.
more. So I'm not trying to sell Calvin Ridley at this point. This is not a time to do that. But I tried to last week because that was a better time to do that. I offered him for Ramondre Stevenson for Longfellow, which turned out to be pretty bad. It looked good for Ramondre, and
It was bad for both of you guys.
yeah. And
So
then
that makes it a good trade.
yeah, and then to Billy, I'll call it out. He called out his side of the trade, or called me out while he was having fun on Sunday. Quinshon Judkins for Calvin Ridley. No, that turned out to be really
That was
bad.
a pretty crappy trade.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that looks in a few weeks. I'm
Yeah.
sure it will still look bad.
The starting running back versus the wide receiver. Yeah. Okay.
In a after 2 weeks, it looked like a crowded backfield, but he's just great. So I wanted to see if I could squeeze him out. It's going to cost more than that, I'm sure. So I do want to let you know they both rejected it. Great. But Longfellow had to one-up me with horrible trade offers of the week. And I even asked him if I could talk about this.
Surprise. Longfellow's putting bad trades out there. Who
I-
would have thunk it?
I asked him if I could talk about this because it was a 3-for-3 in response to Calvin Ridley for Ramondre Stevenson.
All right. What was he offering?
So he only kept Ramondre Stevenson in the deal and paired him with Rico Dowdle, okay, and Ricky Pearsall, which is the best piece
Ricky
of the trade.
Pearsall had
okay?
a good week this week, but he didn't know that.
So Ricky Pearsall is the best piece of the trade, okay? But let's talk Ramondre Stevenson. He's the better of the two running backs out of him and Dowdle. So we'll talk about him against the top running back of my team out of the ones he offered for. Jordan Mason, who just became the RB1 in Minnesota, put up about 24.
I'm not even going to fault him. Ramondre had a good week, like week 2.
That's
Jordan
fair.
Mason just became the starter. You can't fault him for that.
That's fair. And then,
so who was the third part of this?
And then Rico Dowdle for Trey Benson. Like, if you match them up, that's
didn't know that James Conner was going down. So
well, of course, but Trey Benson was getting like 6 targets a week in the first 2 weeks. He was looking like one of the most solid backups if James Conner went down, which already happened, unfortunately, but he became so much more valuable after that. Jordan Mason was already the starter when he offered this trade, just to let you know. Okay, and then across from Ricky Pearsall, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
What?
Which was my 7th round pick, but the number 5 wide receiver in the league right now. Probably my best player, questionably. So
Ricky Pearsall for JSN.
Bro.
Really?
So Ramondre Stevenson, Rico Dowdle, and Ricky Pearsall.
By the end of the year, they might end up being equal, but at this point, JSN already has a track record. He's already put up big points this year. What? Longfellow, what were you thinking, bro?
And then he sent me AI trade analysis explaining why it's good for both sides, and I was like, Mike, you don't have to freaking need AI to figure out that if you just match everyone up. I sent him a text back that said, Jordan Mason over Ramondre Stevenson, Trey Benson over Rico Dowdle, Jackson Smith and Jigba over Ricky Pearsall. Where's the value, man?
Yeah.
Don't Mike, you're the man, and we're gonna maybe get something done one day. But
right?
You got it.
I mean, I doubt it. Mike way overvalues his own players every single year. It's
not even about that. It's just about both teams in a trade need to benefit from the trade, or at least
what do you mean it's not about that? He thinks that he's giving you something that's even.
It is,
but he's overvaluing his players by way too much.
I'm not saying it's not true, but
every time.
But there's some other funny trades. If you guys want to share trades, we'll kind of break them up.
Mike forgets that name recognition has value too. Right? It's not just about what they've done these first 3 weeks of the season, because it's part of the reason that people get drafted high is because of expectations. And so if they didn't play well for the first few weeks, you're not just going to drop them because you know that they have the capability of putting up big numbers. So you have to remember that name recognition is almost as important as actual production.
And I'll just mention one more thing about this trade and we'll move along. I was trying to ship off Calvin Ridley, and you're offering me Rico Dowdle. What kind of I was like, that's probably your worst player. And he's like, really worse than these guys? And I'm like, that's not a good thing.
Just because you have a crappy team doesn't mean that the crap that you're offering isn't still crap.
You're going to have to turn your superstar player into 2 up-and-coming possibilities to kind of try to revive this year, because you have a lot of injuries. Unless these guys come back soon enough to dominate the rest of the year, it's not looking good, man. And I know you
enough with the crappy trades. What's our next segment?
So we've got
Sly as a fox.
Hey,
do you have a Sly as a fox for the week?
I'm gonna come back to our biggest fan, Sean Dennehy, Captain Cannabis. Just picking up David Montgomery off waivers last year.
Damn, he's still getting accredited for that. That was one of the best pickups.
I mean, that's probably going to go down as one of the best keeper pickups or waiver wire pickups of all time, right? Because it's not like picking up Devon Achane or Bucky Irving
when they're
rookies and you don't know what they're going to do. We already knew who David Montgomery was. We saw what he did last year. Scott dropped him, even though he was coming back for the playoffs. And Sean was in prime position to pick him up. I gotta say, that was a slick move. You are sly as a fox, my friend.
Yep.
You deserve this award, which gives you absolutely nothing other than the words that I'm putting out of my mouth right now.
Cool.
But David Montgomery, sly as a fox. Well done.
The night before that waiver went through, I mentioned his name, and Colin got upset. Hung up on me because we were both trying to pick him up on that.
Everyone wanted him. Everyone wanted him. The only way you could have gotten him was if you were paying no attention.
All right, moving on. My Sly as a Fox, I just mentioned him, is going to be Colin. This week, Colin is my Sly as a Fox pick for picking up the Pittsburgh defense and dropping the Ravens defense a 20-point sway to win by 10. So congratulations.
Wow. Well
I think
done.
10 or 10. So that was the move of the week, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Well done, guys. You deserve it.
Let's continue, man. What are we? Where are we at? We were jumping around. Keeper alert! Oh, snap!
Yeah, buddy. Keeper alert.
Yes. So, as per usual, Pascal's going to cover the winners, and I'm going to cover the losers.
Starting off with the winners. Punks in Drublick.
Winner.
Devon Achan put up 16.1 points compared to the 21.8 expected. And Bucky Irving put up 13.9 compared to the 19.2 expected. That's negative 10.1 expected.
Excellent.
Is that right? No, 6. Never. 12. 11. Damn. Math. Hard.
It's negative 11.
Negative 11.
He's 11.
I said 10.1.
I just glanced at it and I was like, that's wrong.
Next, we have Brooklyn Bulldogs.
Winner.
Tony Pollard put up 13.9 compared to the 14.6 expected. And Mark Andrews put up 27.1 compared to the 9.7 expected. That's 16.6 over expectation.
A good wolf. Very nice.
Next, we have Steal Your Face Mask.
Winner.
Jonathan Taylor put up 32.8 compared to the 18.8 expected. And Kyron Williams put up 19.2 compared to the 15.9 expected. That's 17.3 over expectation.
That might be the best of the week.
Oh my gosh. The auto draftees also won.
Winner.
With Xavier Worthy out. And David Njoku putting up 9.0 compared to the 9.4 expected for 0.4 under expectation.
Yo, that's pretty on point.
Captain Cannabis also won.
Winner.
With Puka Nakua putting up 22.8 over 19.7 expected. And David Montgomery putting up 29.4 over 11.7 expected. That's 20.8 over expectation.
That's the highest of the week.
Oh my gosh. Great.
Winner.
Yeah, he also won.
Yeah, he won.
But Brock Bowers put up 9.8 compared to 15.2 expected. And Josh Downs put up 5.4 compared to 10.0 expected. That's 10 points under expectation.
But he's a winner this week.
Yeah, you are. Congratulations to all of us.
Now let's talk about the losers.
Ya loser.
Starting with Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies, who put up 14.5
Ya
on Khalil
loser.
Shakir. Sorry about that. I went 0 to 80 in 2 seconds. Khalil Shakir put up 14.5 over 9.9 expected, 4.6 over that. Drake London put 10.5 points up under the 14.9 he was expected, leaving Chinese Pimpin' Gumbies at plus 0.2 expected.
That's not why you lost, but you lost anyway.
Then we have Salute Your Short Fellows,
Ya loser.
who had Terry McLaurin get hurt in the game, but before he did, he put up 10.4 under 14.9 under his expectation. And George Kittle was out and will be for a few more weeks, which leaves Longfellow 4.5 under expectation.
And both your keepers are out.
Next, we have Aggie's team with Jaden Daniels.
Ya loser.
Wait, Aggie's team
Ya loser.
with Jaden Daniels,
Ya loser.
who was out this week, and Nick Chubb, who put up 7 against 13 expected, leaving him 6 points under expectation. Next team is Catch This Fade,
Ya loser.
who had a poor performance from Malik Neighbors, who put up 3.3 under his 18.6 expectation, and Nico Collins, who put up 22.4, which was 5.1 over his expectation, leaving Marvelous with 10.2 under expectation.
Ouch.
And he lost.
probably why.
Next, we have East Coast Virus,
Ya loser.
who started Brian Thomas's 7.5, which was underwhelming to his 15.8 expectation, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, who put up 20.6, which was 2 points over expectation, leaving East Coast Virus with 6.3 points under expectation under the table. Not good. Lastly, and leastly, as he is in lastly place, we have G-Men's Crusaders.
Ya loser.
Double loser, he's in 12th place
Ya
at 0-3.
loser.
He's 4 points behind me in last place at 0-3.
Ya big loser.
Who started Chase Brown 6 points, which was under his 17.2 expectation, and Sam Laporta 7.3 with an expectation of 12, leaves Babalu with 15.9 under expectation on the week.
You lost.
Some of you won, and some of you lost.
But Brendan's people lost.
I lost,
And Brendan lost.
and Baba lost,
And Baba lost.
and Colin should have lost.
And Colin should have lost.
And Marvelous lost, thank you.
And Marvelous lost, thank you.
And Longfellow.
And Longfellow lost.
And Aggie.
And Aggie.
And then anyone who else who lost, who I didn't mention, it didn't actually lose. All right, let's talk about some fun stuff with our next segment. And here it is.
3 now.
All right, so 3 and out, we're going to do something fun this time. We're going to talk about keepers in different ways. So, yeah.
Fun.
It's fun. So there's only 24 players in our league that are keepers. So they are the only ones that qualify for these categories. We're not going to do this every week, but from time to time, it'll be fun to kind of bounce back with these type of questions.
Like right now.
So the first one is going to be, through 3 weeks, who is the keeper MVP thus far?
And I'm going with Puka Nacua.
Nice. Puka Nacua. I agree.
He's a beast. He's balling out.
He's not my MVP, but he's a beast. He is balling out.
Who is your MVP?
My MVP is Jonathan Taylor touchdown.
Wow. Yeah, he's been playing well.
Yeah, he's been playing very well. RB1 in the league right now. So a couple years ago, this is what we all expected. It took a couple years, but Billy caught on at the right time. Good stuff, Bill.
Sure did.
Actually, a couple years ago, he caught on. So he's been riding this wave.
Well, last year he was hurt. Didn't really put up numbers like that.
He
So
was
on
good,
and
though.
off.
He's good when he plays. So our next category we're going to talk about.
They are who we thought they were. The keeper at par.
They aren't who we thought they were. You're supposed to say it like that. Next time.
Sorry.
It's all right.
You should have told me beforehand. Not called me out on the podcast.
We've been over voicing. So the keeper at par.
I'm going to take David Montgomery, because when Scott dropped him, we all said, whoa.
Yeah.
Because we knew who he was.
I'm actually surprised he outperformed what I expected him. I didn't expect him to even break 25 on the season. Maybe once. But yeah, he's been looking good.
Yeah.
Whoops, I thought Gibbs was going to get everything.
Oops.
And they are who we thought they were. Player is your MVP, Puka Nacua. I expected this from him. 20 plus a week, and it's just guaranteed at this point. Sean, you got the best keeper in the league.
I just switched my stuff up when I heard what you were doing, because I was like,
no,
David,
he's a worthy MVP.
I think that, I think that who we thought they were was more of like where they were drafted at thing, but like then I chose David Montgomery and fucked it all up.
No, it's all good. You expected what you saw from David Montgomery, and
so tell me, my friend, now that we've talked about the MVP and they are who they thought they were, who was the keeper bust thus far?
Oh, as much as I want to say one of my keepers, I'll stay off of that. My bust thus far actually is worse than either of my keepers by far. And I see him on the down and down. It's Chase Brown.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Losing Joe Burrow and having an awful defense will not produce for your running back room. I have him in one league, not too happy about it, but yeah, that's probably going to be a trade away.
Yeah, that's rough. For me, the bust is Malik Neighbors.
Ooh.
Who had a really good game last week, but week 1 and week 3 just not very good. And for a 3rd round pick, expecting him to play
Okay.
like a top 10 pick, I got to say that's a bust. And Marvelous' record is showing for it.
See, that's where I thought you would go with someone like Brian Thomas, Josh Downs, who haven't really even done much
At
of anything.
least
And Neighbors
Brian
had a 30.
Thomas was taken with a 10th round pick.
That's
At
least,
least
where, yeah.
Josh Downs was taken with like a
10th.
6th or
No,
he
it
was a
was-
10th.
yeah, he was a
So
10th.
it's like not going to call that a bust.
He was
but-
drafted in like the 10th or 11th in most drafts, so
Yeah.
it was like a trade off.
No. Malik Neighbors cannot be doing what Marvelous was hoping for.
Damn, so a bust thus far, Malik Neighbors and Chase Brown.
Yep, through 3
MVPs
weeks.
thus far, Jonathan Taylor and Puka Nacua. And they are who we thought they were, David Montgomery and Puka Nacua. Last category will be the bounce back keeper of the year, somebody who hasn't performed yet or hasn't lived up to their expectations yet that should bounce back. Could be anyone of 24 players.
So I'm taking Drake London.
Okay, that's a really good one. Yeah.
I expected him to be really good this year. I expected Michael Penix to be really good this year. Neither one has really performed up to what we were expecting.
Yeah.
But Michael Penix is young. He doesn't have a lot of starts under his belt, and he could definitely turn it around. I think he was the most talented thrower in the class last year. So I have high expectations for him still. Good offense around him, and Drake London will benefit from having probably the best running back in the league.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just a little tiny trickle of bias, but I love it because. But Pascal, I'm glad you mentioned Michael Penix because Pascal and I are starting a trend. It's called pick up a quarterback until they perform horribly and then drop them.
It's so funny that you said that because I was thinking that exact same thing about I was going to mention it on the pod, and so thank you.
So he
now
had
I
Penix,
can.
dropped him for Russell Wilson. I imagine he'll have Russell Wilson for the
I
rest of the
had
season.
Daniel
so-
Jones at first, and I was like, he's going to play like crap. Let
See,
me
that
get
was
Penix.
that was a bad move.
Basically, if your starting quarterback is my backup quarterback, I'm sorry, because he's probably going to play like ass.
Good point. So, and then I picked up Browning, who will just start for the rest of the year over Bo Nix. Just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm not that worried.
Booty.
Bo Nix is good. My bounce back keeper of the league as of right now is Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers has performed just okay. I think week 1, if I'm not mistaken, he was in the teenage point range. Now he's, I think, 2 weeks under 10. I could be misremembering this, but for what he's supposed to be putting up, for where he was,
I feel like one of us predicted this.
yeah, for where it was, it's like the Mark Andrews / Dalton Kincaid effect of
He
last
caught
year.
like 100 and something balls last year. Like, that was not going to happen again.
Yeah, so I think Brock Bowers is, however, going to turn it around and start dominating. You got to really think about it. Trey Tucker siphoned 3 touchdowns and like several yards this week. Maybe he doesn't get as many targets as last year, but he's definitely going to perform better than under 10, I think, for the better part of the rest of the season.
No, it's probably a good bet.
So, all right. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed that 3 and out segment. We tried to include everybody, but if your team's mediocre or underperforming and not that bad, you're not going to get talked about that much. Everybody gets talked about, even Pascal.
I was in first place last week, buddy.
Last week. So,
I'm undefeated.
yikes. So let's bring it to the backyard, yeah. So we've got a bunch of fumbling players in the NFL doghouse from our episode earlier in the week. We've got the Russell Wilson, the ex-Giants quarterback, bench quarterback in the doghouse this week, and the entire Rams coaching staff in the doghouse this week. Who are you putting in the doghouse from Put It in the Air or the like?
So, my doghouse member this week is my favorite doghouse member, Brendan Casello. Back in the doghouse
They're not
yet
cracking.
again.
I've been in the doghouse too much. They're
Yet
not cracking.
again. You made a
Love
name
putting
for
me in the
yourself
doghouse.
last year by starting the wrong players. And you did it yet again this week to take the L to Billy Duncan. You had a chance to have him be the top scoring player of the league and 0-3.
I would have
And all you had to do was start the correct rookie running back. But
been the
you
top
didn't.
scoring player if I
Not for the year.
No. I would have been the top scoring player on
For the week. Yeah.
if I started him over Jawan, which I had him in for.
So not only did you give up the opportunity for a win, not only did you give up the opportunity to put one of our most dangerous players at 0-3, but you did it the same way that you played yourself all of last season. You're going in the doghouse this week, buddy. I'm sorry, but that's where you belong.
All good. If I didn't touch my lineup, I'd be 1-2. Wow. That really hurts. I didn't realize that. It really sucks to be in the doghouse with Butterfingers Henry. That meme was hilarious, by the way. Yeah. So I'm going to have one more person join us for our dinner party in the doghouse tonight.
Who's that?
And that's going to be my favorite person to put in the doghouse, too.
Really?
And that would be Aggie, Agarald, Antoine.
Damn.
Haven't seen you in years. Would love to see you and catch up. Love you as a brother, but damn, man. Damn, you are just the doghouse captain at this point.
Oof.
And it's not about your name. And it's not
Really?
about that.
What is
You
it?
haven't taken my bet. It's not about that. There's a lot of things it's not about. Here's what it's about. It's for losing to the second lowest score of the week and giving Pascal
This guy.
a clean record at 3-0.
Thank you
that's,
very much.
That's why I want you in the doghouse again. Please give me no more reasons, friend. Please. Anyways.
Well, I hope you two enjoy your cozy little cuddle.
Oh, man. Yeah, I gotta hang. Yeah, maybe I'll put somebody else in the doghouse instead, since I don't have to be around Aggie, who put you on a pedestal, man. Damn. All right, guys, and that's gonna be a wrap. Please always remember, when finalizing your lineup, to put it in the air.
Is the Put It in the Air podcast.
Not bad, buddy.
That was good. Did we keep it under an hour?
We are right at an hour.
Damn.
Close, but no cigar.
Sorry, Jay. Please watch the last 2 minutes.
We're working on it.
Yeah. It's looking good. We got some good segments coming up, some new stuff. Stay tuned. See you next week, and good luck.
Peace. We out.